Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we're going to be discussing Albus Dumbledore, Severus Snape, and an arrangement they made before the events of the 31st of October, 1981. In the Deathly Hallows, Harry witnesses an old interaction between Dumbledore and Snape that would ultimately influence his opinion of both men. It was perhaps one of the most important interactions to have ever occurred, as it pertained to the Potter family, the prophecy, and the night that James and Lily Potter were murdered. This night, however, also marked the end of the First Wizarding War, as Lord Voldemort was simultaneously defeated by infant Harry, thanks to his mother's sacrificial protection. Though this night was tragic, it was the end of an era, and it brought peace back to the wizarding community, at least for a time. Lord Voldemort travelled there that night, intent on killing baby Harry, because of Sybil Trelawney's prophecy. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the seventh month dies, and the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal, but he will have power the Dark Lord knows not, and either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord will be born as the seventh month dies. Severus Snape, who was a Death Eater at the time, quickly found out about the prophecy. As he was infatuated with Lily, Harry's mother, he knew almost immediately that he would need to act. His loyalties lay with the Death Eaters, but his love for Lily was larger than his devotion to their cause. And though Snape was a Death Eater, he wasn't in it for the same reasons as some of the others. He wasn't hell-bent on power, he was just lost, confused, and felt that he had nowhere else to go, the result of the abuse inflicted upon him in his formative years. Additionally, Snape was massively magically talented, and found praise for this in the ranks of the Death Eaters. He felt that he was appreciated by them. Nonetheless, when Snape became aware of the fact that the Potters were in danger, he knew that he would have to do something. How could he ensure that Lily Potter stays safe? With nowhere else to go, Snape turns to his enemy, Albus Dumbledore. The adult Snape was panting, turning on the spot, his wand gripped tightly in his hand, waiting for something, or for someone. Then a blinding, jagged jet of white light flew through the air. "Well, Severus, what message does Lord Voldemort have for me?" No message. I'm here on my own account." Snape was wringing his hands. He looked a little mad, with his straggling black hair flying around him. I come with a warning. No, a request. Please." What request could a Death Eater make of me? The prophecy, the prediction. Trelawney. Yes, said Dumbledore. "How much did you relay to Lord Voldemort?" "Everything. Everything I heard," said Snape. "That is why. It is for that reason. He thinks it means Lily Evans." "The prophecy did not refer to a woman," said Dumbledore. "It spoke of a boy, born at the end of July." "You know what I mean. He thinks it means her son. He's going to hunt her down, kill them all." "If she means so much to you," said Dumbledore, "surely Lord Voldemort will spare her. Could you not ask for mercy for the mother, in exchange for the son?" I have asked him." "You disgust me," said Dumbledore, and Harry had never heard so much contempt in his voice. Snape seemed to shrink a little. "You do not care, then, about the deaths of her husband and child? They can die, as long as you have what you want?" Snape said nothing, but merely looked up at Dumbledore. "Hide them all, then," he croaked. "Keep them safe, please." "And what will you give me in return, Severus?" In return?" Snape gaped at Dumbledore, and Harry expected him to protest, but after a long moment he said, "Anything." One thing that stuck out to me in this passage is that Dumbledore asked Snape for something in exchange to keep the Potters safe. Dumbledore is an ally of the Potter family, so why would he need further incentive to help Snape out and keep them alive? The reason for this is that Dumbledore didn't trust Snape. He was unsure of what his motivations truly were. However, he did recognize that Snape was in a state of desperation, and knew that he would do anything to make sure that Lily Potter would survive. In this scene, Dumbledore is toying with Snape a little bit, and assessing him. He's doing this because Snape, a former student turned Death Eater, has a dubious past. If Dumbledore were to simply acquiescently accept Snape's request, with no questions asked, firstly, he would look weak, as he has no reason to appease the requests of an enemy. Secondly, Dumbledore needed to gauge the authenticity of Snape's request, and by making a demand of Snape, it quickly became clear that this was truly Snape's last resort, and that he was genuine. At the point at which Snape reaches extreme desperation, Dumbledore asserts his position of power and agrees to help Snape, knowing that from that point onward, he had a new ally. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Until next time, you're a wizard, Harry.